Today we're going to do a video on the 9 foot by 9 foot low impedance loop. If you want to see how that works out, stick around. Hey everybody, my name is Paul, W1 VLF, and welcome back to the lab. Well, I finally had some time to build a big, large impedance loop. It's 9 feet on a side. Use the cross that you're used to seeing in a lot of my videos. And I took some really good close-ups of a lot of the different steps that I went... Hang on a second. Hello? Steve? Yeah. I'm making a video right now. Okay. Oh, really? We'll put him on. Benny! Benny! Hello? Steve, pick back up again. I can't understand a thing he's saying. Okay. Alright, I will. I'll let everybody know. Thanks. Oh, that was Benny. He wants to thank everybody for subscribing who did subscribe to his grandpa's video. Benny's about 9 months old. We'll probably see him pop up here from time to time in videos. So anyway, let's see. A couple of things. The mesh we use to build a large loop is 24 inches wide. It's got 1/4 inch spacing, number 032 inch wire, and it's 2 feet wide. The core, the sampling core is 10 turns on a number 75 core. It's 9 feet on a side, and pretty much have some construction techniques. You'll see it in the video. And I won't be able to do much on-air testing today. It's raining like crazy. But I know I say in the video I wasn't able to get it out in the woods, but I did do a little bit of testing close into the house. But out in the woods where it's a lot quieter, it's even more impressive. One proviso here, I probably wouldn't make the loop this big if I was going to be interested in, say, NDBs. This really works well down to 10 kilohertz and up to maybe 150 kilohertz or 200 at the highest, and then it rolls off. So anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let me roll the video here, and you can watch it and leave a comment at the end if you think you should. This is W1 VLF going outside. Okay, as usual, we're going to start off with the big aluminum cross here, and I'll get some close-ups of the putting the different arms in. Each one of the arms is 66 inches long, and it's made from 2 military fiberglass rods, and they're glued together. So let me get some shots of that. Alright, so one of these fiberglass rods here is 44 inches long from end to end. I added another 22 inches, and I reversed the coupler on the end here to fit the 1-inch PVC pipe that's shoved in there. It's 2 feet across to support the mesh, and there's about 4 or 5 inches down inside the neck here. So that's what we're going to be building here. We're going to build 4 of these. That means it's 66 inches times 2 across the diamond. So what's that? That's 132 inches. So it's about 10 feet, 11 feet from one end to the other, roughly. It's Sunday morning around 9 o'clock, 9:30, and my brain's not working too well, so you'll have to check the math. But it is 50 degrees out here, so it's perfect temperature for building something. So no more jibber jabbering, and I'll just get on with my my construction here. So here's the first pole we're going to attach. At this point, it doesn't make really any difference which orientation you have them in. We're just going to lock them in place, snug them in place. Then we'll make sure we have all the support arms perpendicular to the end of the centerpiece there. So let me tighten this one up. Alright, so that's a really firm connection there. I might have to loosen them up, but I'm going to go through and build the rest of this now. Wow, looks like it's 8.5 feet. Oh well, so much for my calculations. I think what happened is the space in the middle here, it didn't account for that. That's 2 inches at least. So makes it 2 inches that way, 2 more inches that way. It's alright, we have enough mesh and we'll be able to support this thing. Hey you. Okay, watch out. Okay, we're going to apply some tie wraps now to each one of those spreaders, the 2-foot PVC spreaders. And we're going to get it as tight as we can, but we'll be able to slide the pipes out of that X in the middle to accommodate, and we'll also be able to rotate it to make sure that the surface of the mesh is flat and tight. If anything moves, you can always loosen the, over time, you can always loosen up the hose clamps and push it out slightly and tighten it up whatever, but it'll be basically a square. And when we get towards the end, I'll show you how I make the folds and everything. But right now we're going to tie wrap a couple of places in place here so that we can see where we are. And anyway, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. We're moving on to the next step. How's that? I'm going to put 3 on each side of this PVC. One near the top, and I'll be able to follow this down to make sure I have it square. So we'll go in this hole, back in this hole, and then on the inside I don't know if the inside is better than the outside, but seems to be holding it pretty good. And now we'll put one more right here, and then we'll continue down. The nice part about this is you can follow this one row of what do you want to call it? How did I do that? Oh, I came out this side. You can follow this one row down and keep the thing centered. So looks like I have 2 in the center here. Tighten this one up. There. That seems like it's going to hold pretty well. Fold the corners a little bit. Now I'll put 3 more in there, and we'll move on to the next site. Now put it inside. Okay, so we have 2 of them done. Whoops. This one and this one. And it's not yet tight, but I will pull out in the center there with a screwdriver, force these out to be really tight. Now, this might end up being a problem when it gets loaded with ice. We'll have to see what happens. I may have to put a support member between these 2 points but this is going to be on the ground, or 6 or 8 inches above the ground, so we'll have to see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to continue on now. Won't show you the rest of this because it's kind of boring. Okay, well, we're going to cut the mesh now, and before we do that, we got to put on gloves because this stuff will cut you like crazy. I've decided that I want my, no, I don't have it with me, my coupling loop about a foot away from here, maybe about that much away, so that from this end, so that I'll be able to mount this thing on the ground, and the coupling point will be about a foot or 2 above the ground. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just cut this, and then I'll show you how I fold over the corner so you have some real good structure to it. So let's just see what I mean. This stuff will it's not your friend, let me tell you. It's not your friend. I'm going to put it somewhere, I guess around, so I have to do this to fold everyone. Can you see that? Turn it around twice, yeah. Yeah, okay. So we're just going to cut these off. camera to show you how I fold the corners, so I will do it on this piece I'm cutting off once I get to that far. Okay, I'll set up and show you how the corners are made. Okay, since this material is 24 inches wide, we're going to make a mark at the 12-inch mark. Now maybe you can't see that, but there's a mark right there at 12 inches, and this is not critical anyway. Then we're going to go in another foot and make another mark, just to find the center. Alright, so right around there. Okay. So then, we'll take this corner, and we're going to fold it to that point, to that 12-inch in point, and then smooth it out like that. And we'll take this corner and fold it right into that point and smooth it out. And what we'll do is we'll just hammer on it a little bit here to get the corner nice and flat. Okay. Now I'm doing this on a separate piece because it's much easier to show it. Okay, now you have a place where you can connect your coupler right here. But it's a little bit frail, so I usually fold it back an inch or two more. Keep that center line in place. Okay, now you'll essentially have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections of that material which you can really pull on, and it has some strength to it. So I'm going to go do that on this loop, and then we'll go from there. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this out in the woods today, but I think I'm going to be able to get it mounted where the 5-footer was, and at least do some messing around with it. So anyway, be back in a minute. Okay, there it is, complete. Take a walk around it. Got the tie wraps, one on either side of the elbow of the T here, so that it can't move back and forth. Pretty good straight sides. Show you how I got that nice and tight afterwards. Let's take another walk around here. See, I'm also using the poor man's workbench, known as the garbage pails. You use what you got, right? Okay, and here's the coupler. I pulled the sides together. You can see how I did that folding maneuver right here, over. And I pulled the sides together with tie wraps, top and bottom, stretched it nice and tight. And then I put the quick disconnect coupler in. It's the same one that I was using on the 5-foot loop. I don't know if I can go back and see the signal strength levels and noise floors and stuff, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to carry this out by myself, so my son is coming over. One more thing to show you, and that's how I got all the sides nice and tight. Okay, and I'm going to go underneath this thing. I'll come back in just a second. Okay, aside from this big cross piece, or X, being nice and stiff, one of the neat things that you can do with it is to loosen up the hose clamps. Not a lot, just the tiniest little bit. And then what you do is you force a screwdriver, I don't know if I can see this or not, down inside, and then wedge it this way, and it straightens out, takes out all the slack and everything. Then tighten the U-bolts back up, or the hose clamps back up again. And the same way here, you just loosen them a little bit, and then you force this out Right now it won't move because I have them tightened. And then when you get it nice and tight, you just crank them all down again. Make sure that all the rest of them are tight and you're in business. So I guess the next shot is going to be getting this out to the backyard. Won't be able to get it into the woods today, but at least I'll be able to use it. And I'll have it pointed northeast. So anyway, so much for that. I'm inside. It's a monster. I'll bet you this thing weighs 60 pounds now. Anyway, W1 VLF out. Gonna give it a shot and try and move it out to the backyard myself. Wish me luck. Or you might just see it crash. Hey, look at that. Alright, well, we made it out here. Now I just have to get it up on the blocks and guy it off. I'm going to let this go in full speed. Or I mean, I'm going to do this in fast forward so you can see how I get it up on the blocks and how I guy it down with a couple of concrete blocks and a few 8x8s. So here goes. Alright, looks like I made it. Got the 2 concrete blocks for guy ropes. We'll take a quick walk around here. There's those 2-foot spacers on the 1-inch PVC. An 8x8 block there. There's the other guy anchor. Well, here comes my son. What happened, man? Anyway, let's see. So here's that X in the middle. Quick walk around. Here's the feed point with the deluxe quick disconnects and the number 75 upside down number 75 core there, and the coax and the other guy anchor. All right, so this is where it stands. Hey Dan, come stand next to it. I want to give you perspective. There's Dan, and there's the top. Stick your hand straight up. Still quite a bit. Okay. So anyway, stick around because I got a lot of close-up photos of that I did earlier during the construction here. So thanks a lot for watching this build. Next time we'll get it out in the woods, and I'll show you how to make the a better feed assembly so it's waterproof. But for now, I'm out. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe because Benny asked you to. 73 for now, W1 VLF.